Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Good morning. Welcome to another Finance Friday edition of Wealth Coffee Chat. What do you call a lazy mortgage broker? A non-conforming loafer. So the RBA met again this week and rates remain on hold, if you haven't already heard. NAV have actually indicated that the next rate rise isn't due until May 2026. CBA are saying that they expect rates to cut in February 26. So no reprieve for all of us leading into Christmas, but we should expect a few more rate cuts at the beginning of next year. What I found interesting this week was when I was reading about some CBA clients. CBA had actually reported that 11% of all eligible home loan customers have chosen not to reduce their direct debit repayments, meaning that even though the rate cuts have come through to the clients, they've left their repayments the way it is, and only 11% of them actually have gone back to the bank to actually request a reduction. And as I've mentioned previously, when the rates come down, the banks don't necessarily adjust your monthly repayments straight away. You actually have to go to the lender and actually ask them to reduce your monthly repayments based on the new interest rate. So it's an interesting. I find this news quite interesting because the media are saying that so many of us are actually struggling with our loan repayments because of high living costs, etc. Yet only 11% of all, and CBA are a big bank and they have a lot of clients, so their data pool is quite comprehensive. 89% of the clients at CBA have left the repayments as is. What that has helped is that's helped them pay off their home loan actually faster. And the extra repayments actually sit in your loan as redraw, which means you can access it if you need to as well. And CBA are saying this has been consistent over the last 3 rate cuts. that have come this year. Now, other exciting news this week. The 1st of October meant that the Australian government, the updated first home buyer scheme, the updated home guarantee scheme. Now, I know this is super confusing for a lot of people, and the governments have actually made it a little bit more confusing. They've now changed the name of the scheme to the Australian Government 5% Deposit Scheme. Now, I'll just give you a summary as I run through this. So previously, the scheme was called the Home Guarantee Scheme. And under that, it had two types of schemes. The first home guarantee, well, actually three. The first home guarantee scheme, the regional first home buyers guarantee, and the family home guarantee. What they've updated is that it's now called the Australian Government 5% Deposit Scheme. And that scheme will have two options in there. The options for the first home buyers and the options for the single parents. And so what you're seeing right here on the screen is the name of both the new stream, they're calling it. So they're calling it the mainstream and the single parent stream. Morning, Margaret. Thanks for joining. So first homeowners will be able to purchase a home with a deposit of 5%, and the government will cover the mortgage insurance. For single parents, the deposit is 2%, and the government will also cover the mortgage insurance. There are two other federal schemes, which is the Help to Buy and the First Home Super Saver. Now, here is a comparison of all four schemes. Now, the first three schemes helps you get into the property. The last one helps you save. Now, if you want more information in regards to this, feel free to reach out to myself or my team, because we can actually run through all this for you. But the great thing about what this scheme enables people to get into the market. They've expanded who's actually eligible for this scheme. So previously, the scheme had an income cap, which meant that if you earn over a certain amount, you wouldn't qualify for the scheme. The government now have completely removed that income cap. So that means that regardless of what income you're on, you could use the first home buyer scheme or the single parent scheme to get into your first property, or get into your property. The first home buyers, which means you get into your first property. The other thing that they've done is they've increased the property price caps. So previously, the price caps meant there's a lot of properties in a lot of the major cities that wouldn't qualify. Here's a breakdown of all the property price caps for each of the major cities. As you can see, Sydney's at 1.5 mil, Brisbane's at $1 million. Previously, the caps were a lot lower, which meant that the properties in those cities didn't actually qualify for this. And the last thing that they've done is they've increased the number of places. So previously there were a limited number of places and you had to reserve it. Now they're opening it completely, meaning that there's unlimited places for anybody who's trying to get into their first home to qualify for the federal schemes. Now, on top of the federal schemes, we have all the state grants and the concessions. So depending on where you live, you can access both the federal scheme and the state grants. And in some cases, you could get up to $30,000 or $50,000 to help you get into the market. I've really condensed that to hopefully make it more clear in terms of all the different schemes, grants, and concessions that are actually available to first homeowners so that they can actually get into the market a lot quicker. As you know, the speed to get into the market is more important than the actual, like if you're waiting to get into the market, it's actually the goalpost keeps moving. Because as your savings as you're saving to purchase a property, the prices of the houses are actually increasing. So when you're sitting here thinking, okay, I need a target of, let's say, $25,000 for a 5% deposit, or even a 10% deposit, if you have to sit here and save, and then you have to factor in some additional costs, you can imagine if you're saving 5%, most lenders aren't capitalizing mortgage insurance, or you actually have to pay mortgage insurance as well. So that's delaying how long it will take for you to get into the market. And it could go, the difference could be getting today and getting into a property in a year or two time. The value of the property, getting in today means that you actually take advantage of the capital growth on that property. So whatever is available and whatever can help you get into the market a lot sooner, absolutely reach out to a broker and have a conversation with them to see how quickly and what is available so that you could get into the market today. Granted, these are all for first home buyers. The majority of the schemes and the grants and concessions are for first home buyers. It is a great tool to get for you to use to get into the market. It doesn't necessarily mean that always has to be your principal place of residence. Now, if you're a little bit younger and you want to get into the property market earlier, it is a great way to get into the market now. And I'll give you an example. I've had clients who kids have finished university. They've come to me saying, the kid wants to get into the market. We access the schemes and the grants for them, get them their first home. They live in the property according to the requirements from the government. And after that period of time, they rent out the property and either go back to living with their parents or go out and explore the world. So this is a great way for kids to potentially get into, or young adults to get into the market a lot sooner, but not necessarily have that be their home to live in, because it may be 5 or 10 years after they've traveled the world, worked overseas, all of those things, they've decided to come home. They can come home to an asset which most likely has been paying itself off, and now there's a ton of equity that's going to be available, so that they're actually in position to purchase, the actual home or the principal place of residence they actually want to live in. So that's something I want, I guess the younger adults to think about, is that if we plan it correctly, you can access property now, and it could do the work for you so that you don't have to worry about saving for a deposit on your home 5 years down the track, 10 years down the track. So I hope that has planted some seeds in regards to our younger adults, and how that they can use these schemes to get into the market, and how they can plan for their property purchases in the future by using these schemes, grants, and concessions. I hope you've enjoyed. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you all next week.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.